here today to have a lovely chat about Reiki and how Reiki plays a part in our lives. And I'm Viveka Chauhan, and I'm a Reiki master, and I combine Reiki with my holistic healing and mental health work. And here with me today is Fiona, who's also a Reiki master and a teacher and artist. So, Fiona, would you like to say a few words about Reiki in your life?
Thank you. Hello, Viveka, and thank you very much for inviting me to our chat today. And my name is Fiona. I'm a Reiki master and practitioner. I practice from my home and also from a wonderful space called the Lodge.space. And I also am an animal Reiki practitioner. I was an art teacher for about 16 years, so I also like to do some energy art workshops as well. And I teach Reiki, and which I really enjoy. I still like teaching, and I like sharing about Reiki, and shares, of course. Yeah, so that's where I am at the moment.
Yeah, and we came together especially because Fiona, you had got to my attention that in April 2022 is going to be 200 years since Dr. Mikao Usui gained enlightenment. So
yes,
that would be a nice
100 years. Yes, 100 years. So from 1922, he went to Mount Kuruma near Kyoto.
Wow.
And he'd had a whole lifetime of religious understanding, spiritual research, education. He was a teacher, and a quest for understanding all about energy healing, really. And he was it's ancestral for him. It'd been in the family, it'd been in his culture. He just wanted to know more. But there was a particular date where he went to the mountain and fasted and became enlightened and received enlightenment about Reiki and Reiki symbols. And then he just found that his energy had really, really increased, and he was able to apply it. Especially at that time as well, he was able to train other people in Reiki, which helped for the for disasters that had happened in Japan, like earthquakes. And yes, was able to help people with his energy healing and retrain people. So it's a beautiful date for Reikiists to want to go to Japan and honor and remember this, that he really
we thought about doing it together at some point, maybe in the future, once all this has settled down a bit with the pandemic situation.
Because energy healing has been around for thousands of years, but it was just the Mikao Usui really brought out again, and Reiki for our time, so we could relearn about it. And then his students like Hawaii Takata brought it to the West, and so we were able to learn about it as well, not just be kept in a particular culture. We can be blessed and shared with it as well. So yes, it'd be lovely to go to Japan.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that for me, I learned it in India and you learned it here in the UK.
Yes.
And it's brilliant that it's been packaged in such a way that we can learn it in different places and add in whatever our different cultures are bringing with it.
Yes. Yeah. There's been many paths with Reiki. There's different aspects, and it's still developing. And from Usui fire to angelic Reiki, but it really is about healing. It's about energy healing, people connecting to people, but also to everything else around them, because Reiki actually means universal life force energy. So it's the energy, as you all know, the energy of everything. And what we've chatted about a few times actually is about when we've chatted before, that Reiki is not just, well, Dr. Mikao Usui said Reiki is not just a treatment, it's the spiritual path. This doesn't mean it's a religion. It's a spiritual path of learning and understanding and reconnecting, because if we see energy as Reiki is going in and somebody receiving a treatment, then I don't feel that they can heal as well. Once they understand that they are connected and they're reconnected to themselves, and Reiki energy is about healing themselves, then it opens up to a bigger understanding and health and personal health as well.
I completely agree, and we've talked about that as well, that I think for me, I used to have a lot of health issues, and I used to always feel a little helpless because you're looking
Yeah.
outside for all the answers. And of course, the medical
Yeah.
profession and everything gives you some answers, but just having that ability to sit down with your own healing hands really and tap into
Yeah.
some energy outside of you and then see a difference has been very empowering for me, in terms of not feeling like I have to always look outside for the answers.
That's
That's
a wonderful, beautiful thing to say. And you're so right. It's like us feeling like we can still have some control over our body. And I don't mean in a controlling way, that we understand our body.
mm,
And when we feel that we always have to look outside for answers,
mhm.
then it's always like we're having to search for how to have us healing. And we're always on the back foot. But if we feel that we can own ourselves and understand ourselves more, and understand the whole holistic nature of ourselves, and the healing can be quicker, but also it can be more long term.
Mm,
You know, I think when the medical profession comes together with holistic, you know,
mm,
that we can ebb and flow around each other when it's one or the other.
right.
um, Maybe it's we're not looking at the whole big
Mhm.
picture, but I think everybody, I think it would be very strange for anybody not to have had some health issue, physical or mental. And we've been so focused on the last century about physical that we
Mm,
forget that the mental is just as important, just because we can't see it.
yeah.
And although there's been a lot in the media about mental health becoming more awareness, it's got a long way to go. And I think that's a real Western philosophy, where we go, let's fix the body, the mind will follow. More Eastern practices, it's let's get the mind and the holistic body well, and then the actual physical body will naturally follow. So it's trying
Yeah.
to change that perception around.
It's true.
um,
It's so funny because, yeah, I think that's exactly how it started off in the East as well. But somehow, I mean, I'm talking about India, and what I've seen in India as well is that, of course, we have those holistic practices, but somehow we've also followed the Western medical. Let's focus on the body, let's focus on symptoms rather than the whole, and somehow also disconnected from that idea that mind, body, soul are all connected. And it's also in India that we're slowly going back towards understanding that there's this huge body of knowledge that we can tap into to understand
yes, yeah,
and connect
yes.
all three of these.
And it's not so much a treatment, because even when people might do different practices, they still have a tendency maybe to put it in a box, like I do this yoga and this Reiki, I'll go for this Reiki, what shall I choose? I should take Reiki. Well, so if we could look
Hmm.
at this as all part of the same. So the beauty of yoga, understanding the body and the mind and the stretching,
Mm-hmm.
could be, you know, as one aspect. And I see ourselves as like, it's almost like an elastic band ball, and we
Hmm.
can stretch out. And this is understanding, okay, this is the Reiki treatment, but then I'm going to understand how I connect through energy by going for a walk, or
Mm-hmm.
by doing some knitting, or by doing some sewing, or some just expressing myself through art, through no expectations, and just keeping our minds open to what's there that might make us feel better, with
Hmm.
not no shoulds attached to it. I should be doing this and I should be doing it well. It's allowing ourselves just purely to do something for ourselves, if we're able to just grab that moment, which I know is getting increasingly hard in this fast paced life, but it really is going, I deserve to stop
Mm-hmm.
and just literally be, just for that. Even 5 minutes can have a profound effect.
Yeah, and we were discussing how because of this pandemic and the lockdown, we aren't always obviously able to give one-on-one healing, but also
Yes.
that we're seeing it in our everyday lives, that Reiki is flowing all the time. It's not just the act of doing Reiki healing. Uh,
Yeah, it's
it's
a
really,
really I love that you brought up this point, because in the beginning I think there could have been generally a lot of people that were very worried, very concerned, a lot of panic. Oh, you know, I do Reiki, it's my practice, it's stopped. And a lot of individuals were thinking, obviously you've got it's their livelihood as well as their love. um, but I think, you know, to be able to just to step back and go, actually, even if I'm not practicing Reiki with my hands,
mm,
or with hands off,
yeah.
I'm still practicing energy just by being. And I felt that I really needed to do that. And it was, I'd still love the practical, but I just so enjoyed just stepping back and just having the true essence of Reiki, of universal life force energy. Because Rei
Mm,
and Ki, it's all about spirit energy, but connected to to us as people, and to be able to stand back and go, actually, I'm going to spend more time in the garden and get my hands dirty in the soil, or to actually stop and actually watch bees on plants and seeing their day-to-day life. And I like sharing on my Instagram just pictures, because I'm an artist. I love pictures, and just I love seeing other people's pictures where they just had this moment of just stopping and looking at an insect or a bug or a flower, or just seeing the view and actually seeing through their eyes that they had stopped and looked. And or just even playing with my daughter and just actually going, this is energy, this is joy. Energy is joy from sharing with that person. Or and I'm just going to shut out all the other stuff for now, all the what's going to happen in the future, what am I doing, and just actually be. And it was just so healthy and beneficial, like a little cave time, actually. It's very needed.
Yeah, I think for me as well, that's what I've also seen since I started doing Reiki and learning it and just doing it for myself, that there's an ebb and flow which I'm understanding exactly about nature and how we're all connected to that. And it's not just a concept, but you're actually feeling it now. And so, like you're saying, if I go for a walk, I can really feel like I'm part of that, the tree and the vibrations that the tree is giving into the earth. And it's quite beautiful. And I think I'm manifesting that in my art as well, which is just, it sometimes feels like I'm connecting to something and it's just flowing, because I used to always love doing little hand sketches and things, but I feel like now my art is connecting to that Reiki energy as well. And so then I can really see how it does permeate all parts of my life, and it's not just when I'm doing the Reiki healing.
Yes. Yeah, I love your drawings. I when I look at your drawings, I always feel that there is it's like your whole spirit is in them, your whole soul. It's like they come from another place, but they always feel like, when I look at them, because I've put them quite a few times on Instagram, and I'd love to see them properly as well, that it always answers, they always feel quite relevant at the time I look at them, and I think, oh yes, that feels about like an opening, and that's about a release. And yes, they're beautiful. And yes, I know what you also mean. I often find, actually, when I'm Reiki people in my practice, that during the Reiki I will see, it's like a vision, and something will come to me that is not from me. I will see it'll be relevant for the person, and sometimes we can have the words, but the words aren't. Although language is beautiful, it is an art in itself, and it's blessed. Sometimes I still can't quite find the words, and when we're able to do a drawing, despite being an artist, my drawings are quite childlike, quite simplistic, and but they can convey something far deeper than I could express with words, and I find that they can be very relevant.
I think they're quite archetypal and symbolic, your images. Like, I think I've seen one with a kind of dragon being, and it's almost like an archetypal symbol that comes into your mind, and that's conveying so much more, right?
Yes. And where I practice in the lodge, there's a wonderful practitioner, Daryl, a dragon healer, and it's very nice to swap practices. It's lovely. So if I give Reiki and he'll give dragon healing, and since then I could really feel in my own practice when I was doing Reiki that the dragon breath was coming through, and often usually around the heart or the solar plexus, it's like a dragon will curl towards me and look at me, and then breathe energy into myself that will go into that practitioner, so that client, beg your pardon, or be there, or be flowing around to kind of encourage the energy. But yes, the dragon comes through quite a lot, especially the water dragon. I often see, actually one of the visions I do see is like often Dr. Mikao Usui just sitting in a stream, and he'll have a smile on his face, and he'll just say something very pertinent with humor that is very relevant. I've tried to put a couple of them in drawings, and often I'll see this little like water dragon sitting in the reeds, just looking. And one time I said, "Oh, you're here! Like, how wonderful!" And they said, not with words, but just with intention, "Yes, I've just come here to sit and listen and wait a while." And I thought, oh, how lovely if we could all do that, just to come to sit and wait a while.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think, like you're saying about the swapping energies, I think once we had done an energy swap, which was so lovely for me, because we had been talking about it. But I think you taught me how to do those visions, because it's after that that I started having the same visions that you were talking about, like very small ones. And I think I'm building that intuitive ability now, because like you were saying, with my drawings, I'll get an idea and it'll come out, but it wasn't happening during my healings. But after that, it started happening, where I would just get these flashes from the person that I'm healing, like a little bit of a symbol from their life. And it was, when I shared it, obviously shared it kind of gently about what was coming up, they were quite amazed that there is a synchronicity between what the image is in their life.
It's about sharing the energy is good. It's about sharing with each other and not keeping it as our treatment, our ability. The more we share, well, it's through love. Reiki is all about love and about sharing love. And the more we share that energy, the more we're sharing love, the stronger it gets. But I also think it's wondering about permission. You know, when often people say, well, I do see things, but I don't know if I really have, and they feel embarrassed, or whether they're going a little like, I don't know if I'm seeing these or I'm imagining things. But once we have the permission, and I often say to them, well, actually allow yourself to say, yes, okay, I might not know what it means. I'm not going to make a big thing. This is just a general thing I've seen, I felt, because it's connecting. And if we're not trusting in it, then what is Reiki? All we're doing is just waving our hands over somebody. We either trust or we don't trust. So, you know, we trust that the energy is being channeled, so that the client is able to receive and react and recognize this energy they had from before they were born, from when they were born, you know, their soul purpose, their spirit, and the energy goes, oh, I recognize this. Oh, I need this to heal and balance. And yes, I will get stronger. And yes, I'm going to start recognizing that I can hear a little bit more when I'm on a walk. Or yes, those beautiful drawings, I do want to get out and share. And yes, they are something that's helping me. And yes, the more we get out, the body can release. And yes.
Thank you. This has been so wonderful. I think we decided that we're going to do a few of these chats, maybe one every week, and it's just going to be us sharing little stories about how Reiki has been part of our life.
Yeah, our little thoughts and chats, and we often chat for a long time together, don't we? We just like to philosophize and think and share. And this is our little tea time chat. I've got one that just says today. Oh, you're going to see this back to front, but it says stay magic, and it's today I'm feeling it's the ginger, the lemon, and the hot water, because although it's a hot day, it's nice to still
I had some ginger chai earlier as well, with the little spices like the Indian tea, which is nice.
When I'm able to, I shall when we can, I shall share some of that with you. I think so lovely. So yeah, it'd be really wonderful just to have our little regular just chats and discussions. So hopefully
we'll see everyone back again, and it'll be lovely to see what people's views are about what we're talking about, and just to share views, like you were saying, about each other's thoughts on Reiki or energy or whatever practice that they see it in their lives.
Exactly, just like a little modern day where they used to gather in Greek times, gathering around the steam baths and having a chat and philosophy.
I love that.
Lovely to share, have a space to share and just chat about energies. So thank you so much, Viveka, for inviting me to do this today.
No, I'm glad. Thank you, Fiona. That was lovely.
And blessings to everybody as well. I hope you have a beautiful week ahead, and you also manage to find some time for yourself. Even little moments can have big impacts. Sending love out to you.
Lots of love.
Thank you.